Hola, I'm Ray Green. Now, today we are going to talk about how to double to 2x your close rates. And I'll start by saying, it obviously it takes a lot of work to get qualified prospects on a call in the first place, which is why it's really painful for me when I hear solopreneurs, I hear executive freelancers, coaches, consultants, whatever, wasting opportunities because they jump on these sales calls or these discovery calls or these demo calls and they just wing it. And so today I'm going to break down how to start these calls for yourself to get the best chance of closing your clients, or at least closing clients that you love. Right. So real quick, now this isn't just me spouting opinions. Like over the past 12 months, I've listened to 2,500 diagnostic calls, consultative sales calls from coaches, from consultants, fractional contractors. And as a fractional sales exec myself, I've managed more than 1,000 closed sales of professional services and driven more than 8 million in revenue with the process that I'm about to talk to you about. So trust me when I tell you, this isn't just my opinion. I know this process works. Now, here's how to start your calls. Here's how to set them up for success. Now, the first step is, it seems patently obvious. It's a no-brainer. I get it. But proper preparation, right? Like, I see people skip this step all the time. And I see people with a lot of sales experience think they don't need to, right? I've done 1,000 of these, like I'm good. So why bother? I've seen and heard it all. And then I see people with less experience, like, skip it, just not realizing how important it is to prepare for a call properly. Now, sales is all about mindset, right? So if you show up unprepared, you aren't going to have the confidence that comes from being fully prepared when you're presenting, when you're asking questions, when you're talking to somebody. You're going to exude a different level of confidence when you show up fully prepared than when you don't. Right. And prospects can smell that a million miles away. All right. And worse, if you haven't taken the time to prepare, you might end up saying things or asking things that affect your credibility. Right. We all know how, or should know how dumb it is for job seekers that show up to an interview without researching the company or the person that they're talking to. Right. Well, let's not do that on our calls. So a few steps for preparing for your call properly. One is, if you've got an application or a questionnaire or any forms, make sure you've gone through all of it and looked at those so that you're not asking them to repeat questions that they've already answered. Nobody wants the feeling of like a doctor's office. I've answered this 3 or 4 times already. Review the website or any other content that they've given you for context. And you don't have to memorize the website, but at least scan it, get a peripheral scan of what you're looking at, right? So you want to get some proper context before you go in. Do a quick search. You might find some press releases depending on the size of the company that you're working with, or about the person. Scan, news, Google them. Useful bits of information can pop up online. And then I take a few minutes before the call and just create some space, like get in the right mindset, focus, get rid of any distractions so that you're going in, not bringing in any of the energy from the rest of the day. Okay. And then I would also say, just have a checklist for your preparation process, document it, review it before every single call. We're talking 15 minutes, but if your clients are paying you 5, 10, 50, $100,000, whatever it is, spend the 15 minutes to get properly prepared. Okay. Second thing is, build rapport the right way. So people buy from people that they like, right? Well, yeah, when it comes to things that aren't huge impacts in their life, right? Like if there's little to no difference between the product that you're purchasing, like take Girl Scout cookies, right? Something like that, or something at a stand. I mean, something that's discretionary, or when the impact of the decision isn't really that significant. Like, if you're being upsold on a hair product, like you're getting your hair done, you're getting upsold on a product while you're there. Okay, that's one thing. The significance of that is not going to be massive or monumental. But as an executive freelancer, as a solopreneur, you're providing solutions that they aren't insignificant and they aren't the same as everyone else. You're not a commodity. And that means building rapport has to be done in a different way. It's not about being likable. It's about the prospect trusting you to solve their problem. And when you build rapport the right way, I'm looking for basically three things when I'm listening to these calls. One, did you demonstrate competency? Right? Prospects, they want to know if you can actually do what you say you're going to do. And you'll build rapport when you're referencing like maybe a client or a case study early in your call that sets the stage for the rest of the call to let them know that you know their problems, you know their pains, right? So competency, confidence, how you show up is going to matter. If your body language and your demeanor and your tonality and the words that you're using project a level of certainty and they project a level of confidence, prospects are going to be more likely to follow you when you ask them to, right? The third is caring. So competency, confidence, caring. If your prospects can, like in your conversation, can infer that you actually give a shit about them, like you're actually listening, you're responding to what they're saying. It's not just a canned pitch. They're going to trust you more. They're going to follow your recommendation more. And none of this is meant to be that you should be unlikable, right? Like I'm not saying be unlikable. Likability is not going to hurt you, but I would be really cautious about getting too chummy because they are not going to hire the person to fix their business, to fix their sales, to fix their accounting or their finance or their IT structure, whatever it is. They aren't going to buy purely on likability or the fact that you guys like the same football team. And if you get too chummy in your rapport building, it actually hurts your credibility later. All right. So build rapport the right way. The third thing in setting up a call for success is set the agenda up front, right? So when you're running a successful diagnostic call, you set the agenda. Here's a really simple way to do that. I say, hey, Ray, I've got us down for 45 minutes. Is that what you have? Okay, cool. I've got a process here. It's to learn a little bit more about your business. May seem like a lot of questions or an interrogation, but it helps me understand if I can actually help you. And if I can help, we can talk about what that looks like. If I can't, I'll let you know, and maybe I can point you to somebody that can. Sound good? And when you've done that, you've done a few things. You've established control really early in the call. Okay. You've said, I've got a process that we're going to walk through, and it's really essential to maintain control of the call. And it's for your sake and your prospects. Like the last thing you want to do is waste anybody's time, right? You get to the end of the call without any clarity on whether you can actually help or not. And this puts you in the driver's seat really early to run your process. The second thing is you're checking the clock. When you say, I've got us down for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, you're making sure, are we up against a hard stop? Do I have all the time that I think I do for this call? In setting the agenda this way, it helps ensure that you don't have any surprises 15 minutes into the call, 20 minutes into the call. And that you, like I said, like you have the time that you think you do to start. What it also does, this is the part that I love, is you lower defenses. You know, if you're offering a free consultation or a free strategy session or a free audit, whatever it is, and most of the prospects know that there's a chance that this thing has the chance of leading to business, right? If there's a good fit. And when you say up front and you coach it up front and say, hey, if there's a fit, we can talk about it. And if there's not, that's completely fine. Like you address that head on, they aren't nearly as defensive. All right. So start your sales calls like this, and you're going to be setting the stage for a dramatically better result. And we've seen some sales teams that we've worked with directly double their close rates with this process. And these are just, I have a 10-step playbook that I offer. These are just the first 3 steps of the sales playbook. that we install for our fractional clients, for our highest paying clients that are paying 15, 30,000 a month. And these are like the exact same steps that we're putting in place. So, trust me when I tell you it works. If you have any questions on what the other steps are or how to run this part of the call and set it up for success, shoot me a DM. Happy to answer any questions. Cool. Until next Tuesday. Adios.